YouTube, what is going on? Today we're going to be going over predictions when it comes to 4.5 up to the conclusion, if you will, of Planner Cadia. So with that, we need to look at the patch history for the most part to get a full understanding for roughly where we're going to be ending. So obviously with version 1 we finished at 1.6, version 2 2.7, version 3 we finished at 3.8. Now version 4 we are currently going to be going into 4.5, and we already have the banner characters. It is going to be Robinson Moreto, and it is also going to be Aventurine Wave Flare with the reruns of Hyacinth and Ash Veil. This particular tier list maker does not have the newer models, so I'm just using the older one, so just keep that in mind, right? We don't know whether or not we are going to be getting into 4.9 with this particular version, but quite frankly I don't necessarily think we will. And we also have, as you can see, the banner history when it comes to HSR, in order to help us determine upcoming characters when it comes to reruns. Now, jumping over here to the most important part, and the part where most people are going to want information. So for version 4.6, we do know for a fact, because of drip marketing, that the only new quote-unquote new character is going to be Pearl. However, we also have additional information that we are going to be getting a ZZZ collab, and that is going to be introducing Ellen Jo and Astra Yao. And I have already made a video discussing what I think they're going to be doing. I think Ellen Jo is going to be an Ice Hunt character, and I do think Astra Yao is going to be a Quantum Harmony character. It just makes the most sense. Now, outside of a collab banner, we do have the possibility of getting rerun banners, and this is where this aspect of it comes into play. Now, characters who are completely off the board obviously would be Hyacinth and Ash Veil, as well as Saredra, Anaxa, and the original Aventurine, as well as Sparksy, Donhung PT, and Evernight. And I also will put in that same camp Cyrene, Finon, Yao Guang, Mortonix Blade in that same capacity. Now, as well as Castris, I just don't think that she will be coming out. So looking at some of the other options for 4.6, and one thing I do think will inevitably be occurring is a 3-character banner for the first half and second half. So who exactly would be on this particular banner? Well, I definitely think that we could be seeing 2 Amphorius characters when it comes to the 3 banner system. Number 1 would be Mighty, and number 2 would be Aglaia, simply because of the fact Aglaia's last rerun was 3.8, and with the introduction of Robinson Moreto, Aglaia is definitely going to be better when it comes to overall DPS numbers. And as we go further back, we have to go all the way to 3.7 in order to see a Mighty rerun. And in conjunction with that, I definitely think we can see a rerun for someone like Cypher, because again, very similar to Mighty, her last rerun was in 3.7 the second half. The penultimate climax to the Amphorius arc. Now, what are the 3 other characters I can realistically see come back? Well, the first one that comes to mind is actually going to be Acheron, because of the fact that her last rerun, I actually don't know off the top of my head. I know she was given out for free, but she is still technically a anniversary character. And oh my lord, her last rerun was in 2.6. I definitely can see Acheron making a appearance when it comes to rerun options. And another character that I can definitely see getting another rerun, while her overall value isn't necessarily as high, is going to be Herta. And ultimately, to round out everybody, we got to go back here, is I definitely think that when it comes to characters who need, which is the important part, need a rerun, I definitely think, oh wow, I was going to say Hysolins, but she actually had a rerun of 4.0. I think it's probably a little too early for her. Somebody else that I definitely can see getting a rerun though, as I'm quickly scrolling through. Wow, okay, got some actually, you know what, Boot Hill, because of the fact that he hasn't been out since 4.1. Where are you? I definitely can see this being a 3-banner system for Boot Hill. Now moving over to 4.7 is what I definitely think is going to be the penultimate conclusion to Plan Arcadia. And with this, I definitely think we are going to be getting 1 banner as well, but something that I do think is going to be occurring is just 2 separate banners. I definitely think this is an opportunity for them to be running the anniversary characters of this most recent year, that being Silverwolf level 9s and Evanescia. And when it comes to who would be the rounding out character, this is actually a little more difficult and challenging, to be completely frank and honest, when it comes to an option for this, as most of the characters you would ideally want would have already been reran. But something that I think could be occurring once we get into the next world is a little bit more of a focus on break. And with that, I definitely could see either or the break support characters when it comes to Ling Sha and Fug. I definitely think that they could be the rounding out third option. So these two are kind of tied, interchangeable, is what I believe would be the most realistic options. And I'm basing this entirely off of when the character last was released. It's kind of hard to talk about strictly synergy wise in comparison to 4.5, which I have to say I kind of actually nailed, because of them finishing up Remembrance, second reruns, and then also the synergy between Ash Veil with the likes of Aventurine Wayflare, and obviously Robin just works incredibly well with so many people. But 4.6 and on, I can definitely see an issue when it comes to just overall synergy wise between the characters, because Pearl is going to be a Ice Elation character, focusing on supporting capabilities and the possibility of changing paths. We don't really know yet. 4.7 I could definitely see being the big boy patch, if you will, of Nihilix, and then being the 2 Elation characters. Now what they could do, I don't really necessarily think they would, is have Yao Guang, so you can really just flush out a whole Nihility team. The reasoning why I say I don't really believe they'll do something like that is because I definitely think Nihilix is going to be a supporting style character. Obviously that is just what I believe. There's no leak information or any of that. It's just my own personal opinion on that. But yeah, that's gonna be all for me, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.